will now be administered to the President-elect by the Chief Justice of the United States.
To John Fitzgerald Kennedy, do solemnly swear.
I, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, do solemnly swear.
I, Lyndon Baines Johnson, do solemnly swear.
I, Ronald Reagan, do solemnly swear.
I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. I have a dream. My 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
Well, here we are, January 20th, 2009. A new era in American history has begun. Barack Obama has been sworn in as the 44th President of the United States. And in a bit of poetic irony, he is taking the oath of office within sight of the Lincoln Memorial, where just 45 years earlier, Martin Luther King stood on the steps in front of Old Honest Abe and gave his I Have a Dream speech. It's also interesting to note that Motown Records celebrated its 50th anniversary last week. 50 years. That's as old as I am. And I find it hard to believe that 50 years ago, the artists of the aforesaid record label were actually performing to segregated audiences. If you don't believe me, take a listen to this.
We went to Memphis and we walked on the stage and they had the black people on this side, the white people on this side, and you sung the song to the white people. You turn around and sing the same song to the black people. Then you turn back around and sing the second song to the white people. You turn back around and sing the same song to the black people. Yeah, I remember all that stuff. Yeah, sure do.
Sure didn't keep them from dancing together though, did it? Anyways, as I was saying, today is a new beginning, a promise of hope and change. The neocons are on the run. Dick Cheney and his boys have left the building and told clueless George, just be gracious, George, we're out of here. Meanwhile, Cheney and the boys were probably hunkered down in a bunker somewhere beneath the headquarters of Halliburton. And I hear that in the battle for the chairmanship of the Republican National Committee, the main contenders are running on platforms of how many guns they own, and that the greatest president ever was not Abraham Lincoln, but Ronald Reagan. Anywho, the party of Obama runs the show now, and there's a huge mess that's going to have to be cleaned up. The worst economic crisis in America since the Depression, which begs the question, what the hell are we in now? A $1 trillion deficit, massive unemployment, the housing market is in disarray, Wall Street's crashing. I don't know about you, but my 401k's in the toilet. Gas prices are fluctuating faster than my irregular heartbeat, bailouts and bankruptcies. I'm still waiting for my bailout. You know, we do own part of the banks now. Do you think it'd be too much to ask if we got a quarterly dividend check from them? Speaking of bankruptcies, I'd like to extend a huge thank you and a big flip of the bird to clueless George, who presided over this whole thing and brought such good things to us, such as the worst economic crisis in America since the Depression, a $1 trillion deficit, massive unemployment, the housing market's in disarray, Wall Street's crashing. Oh yeah, Iraq and its weapons of mass destruction, destruction, Abu Ghraib, the slow response to Hurricane Katrina, and of course, mission accomplished. And yet, he says he leaves his office with his head held high.
Sometimes you, misunderestimated me.
You can't tell me he suffers from what the doctors call wet brain. But I digress. It seems to me that it's appropriate that we celebrate this coming together, especially on this day, the day after Martin Luther King Day. Let us rejoice and embrace in Martin Luther King's dream, where we will not be judging another's character solely based on the color of their skin. We've come a long way, and it's a new day in America, and a new agenda's on the horizon. But I have to be honest here. I used to be a real political junkie. That is until Michael Dukakis ran against Lee Atwater and George Bush I along with Willie Horton. I have become very, very disillusioned with our whole political process. Call me cynical, but nowadays it seems to me that it all comes down to choosing between the lesser of two evils. I voted for every Democrat that's ever run for office since I was able to vote. And when Bill Clinton won in '92, I was overjoyed. But this phrase keeps running around in my mind, like the song you can't get out of your head. And it happens every 4 years now, no matter who wins. And even amidst all the hoopla and the celebration of this historic moment, it's still running through the corridors of my mind.